Hi everyone, I'm Angela from Chatty2 Art Kits and Classes for Kids, and I've been asked by Cork City Libraries just to make a few videos and teach you some cool stuff to make before Christmas or for Christmas. So here we go. So firstly, you're going to need a few things that you should have at home. You should have a scissors somewhere in the house. You're going to need a pencil. I've got this cool multicolored one. You're going to need some maybe colouring pencils or markers for this, okay? Paints are okay, but they're not great for this because it's paper craft and we don't want things to be messy, okay? So that would be pencils or markers. You're going to need some sellotape. I'm sure most of you have sellotape in your houses because you've been wrapping presents. It is December after all. And if you have it, some Pritt stick or glue stick, it's easier to use than the PVA glue, okay? So we're going to need that as well. Also, what we're going to need is some printer paper. So just normal, regular white paper that you have at home. Your mums and dads are bound to have some sheets of this. You can also use spare wrapping paper for this, or brown paper that you might wrap some parcels in. It's all about reusing things that you already have at home. If you have coloured paper at home, you can use that too. I'm going to use one brown one, or you can use brown paper, like I said. And I'm going to use one green one because it's kind of Christmas tree green. And that's what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm just going to go through that one more time. You're going to need a scissors. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need a glue stick. You're going to need some sellotape. You're going to need some colouring pencils or markers. You're going to need some white printer paper, either 4 sheets of printer paper or 2 sheets of printer paper and 2 sheets of coloured paper. Okay, and as I said, you can use whatever wrapping paper you've got left over, whatever brown paper you've left over from sending all those Christmas presents to your friends and family. Let's get started. I'm going to show you what we're making, okay? So today we're going to make these cool Christmas decorations. I'm just going to show you there now. It's a Christmas link, so you can hang these up, and you can see that I've made snowmen, and I've also made Rudolph there. So every second one is a snowman or Rudolph. So that's what we've done, and that's what we're going to make today. Now, you can also make elves from these paper chains instead of snowmen, but I thought if you only have white paper, snowmen are kind of cool to do. So that's what we're going to do. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to just make some slips of paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold our sheet of white paper. This is landscape, not portrait, landscape wise, and we're just going to fold it a little piece of it over. Okay, so maybe 3 fingers wide, or 4 fingers if you're have smaller hands than me. I've got big chubby fat fingers, so if you have smaller fingers, maybe 4 of your fingers and 3 of mine. We're going to make a nice crease here along the paper. When we open it up, you can see here that there's a line made in the paper, and we're just going to cut along that line. All right, so we're going to cut along that line there all the way down. Okay, now I'm going very quickly, but you guys can take your time. You can continue going after the class is over. So we have one slip of paper. Now we're going to keep going with that white sheet of paper. We're going to keep doing the same thing. So we're going to fold it over again. Remember what I said about 3 fingers wide, or 4 if you have nice small hands. And we're going to make that nice crease in it. So when you open it up, you have that line down the center to cut along. And we're just going to do that. So we're going to cut along that line all the way down the center here of that line. So now I have 2 slips of paper, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do the whole of that sheet. So I'm going to fold over again, making sure that it's the same size. Now, if it's not perfect and it's not the same size, don't worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's your artwork, so it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. Nobody knows what it's supposed to look like, only you in your head. So don't get worried about those things, okay? So I'm going to keep going all the way to the end of the sheet of paper. And I think you should probably have around 6 maybe slips of paper with this size sheet of paper, okay? So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep just cutting along those lines. I love making these decorations, guys. These came from the Victorian age, which is about 200 years ago. They used to put up their Christmas trees on Christmas Eve. I know that we put them up weeks and weeks beforehand now, and we have all these lights, but at the time they didn't have a lot of electricity, so they had candles in the tree, which is a bit of a fire hazard, but they used to put these paper chains in the tree with the candles, which doesn't sound very smart now, does it? But this is where paper chains come from. They come from the Victorians, and the kids used to sit around and make these at Christmas time and decorate their houses, and I think they're really cute. So I've just done a little bit of a new design with our kind of 3D characters. So that's what we're making, okay? So now I've done one whole sheet of white paper. So I've got 6 strips, like I said. If you have less than that, that's okay. If you have more than that, that's fine too. Don't worry, you don't need 6 specifically, just a few slips of paper. Now, I'm going to use the lovely brown paper that I have here for my reindeer. But as I said, if you've got brown wrapping paper, you can do that. Or you can just use any paper at all. You can colour in white paper, make it brown. Or your reindeers don't even have to be brown. They could be any colour you like, all right? It's your design. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same thing with my brown paper as I did with my white. And I'm just going to fold it over again. And I'm going to leave a little bit. I'm not going to go the whole way down the sheet of paper for this one. And I'll show you why, because we need to make those antlers separately to stick on, so they're 3D and kind of stick out or pop up like the ones I made earlier, okay? So I'm just going to keep cutting along here, and I'm sure you guys are flying it. But you know what, take your time when you're working with scissors. You don't want to chop your fingers off, because then you'll have no fingers to open all your Christmas presents from Santa, and that will be a disaster. So we will be careful with our fingers. So I'm just cutting out my brown ones here, and I think sometimes the brown paper ones are probably better, because this is a really dark brown paper. With the brown paper that we use for wrapping, one, it's better for the environment than wrapping paper. But 2, it's a lighter colour, so you could actually just draw directly onto the brown wrapping paper rather than sticking stuff on like I have to do with this one. So so it might be even better to have that. And I'll show you some wrapping paper that I have here, guys. I have a roll of I have it somewhere. It's sparkly green wrapping paper that I have left over from last Christmas, actually. And if you have something like that in your house, or even birthday paper, you could do that as well, and just make some nice decorations. And these are actually lovely presents for, you know, your family and your friends, and you can make them maybe with your brothers and sisters. Decorate your own house with them, maybe give some to your grannies and granddads for their places. These are just really nice things to do, and it's been so rainy recently and the weather hasn't been great, that these are nice things to do when the weather is all rainy and horrible outside. Stay inside and do some arts and crafts, and it will cheer you up. So look, I've done most of the sheet of paper. I've got like this much left, and I'm going to just put that to one side because I'm going to make the antlers with that. So out of my brown paper, I got 5 strips of brown paper like this, okay? And I'm going to just move on to my other green paper now, okay? So the green paper is for the links that are going to link my character links together, okay? So if you can see what I'm talking about here. So my white ones are going to be my snowmen, and my brown ones are going to be my reindeer or my Rudolphs. And I'm just using the green ones to link them together so I can see all of them properly, all right? Now, as I said, guys, you can use your wrapping paper, but if you wanted, you can colour in just normal white paper or paint it. Use a crayon. You can do whatever you like. If you only have the printer paper, that's okay. Or you could just make all of one colour. So you could do white links in the middle as well. So you could do a white link with a face on it, and then a white link with a plain white link to join them together, and then another white link with a face on it. And actually somebody pointed out the other day to me as well that with the white links I could draw faces and do the hats really similar, and make them elves. So we could have snowman and elves instead of snowman and reindeer if you didn't like the brown colour, okay? But as I said, you know, you could do the reindeer any colour you want. You could make them rainbow reindeer if you want, which would be kind of cool. You could do unicorn reindeer, whichever you like. It's your design, so you can do whatever you want, all right? So I'm just going to just cut along here, and I'm going to just cut maybe 4 or 5 of this green one, because this green sheet of paper is slightly bigger than my white one. But you guys can go all the way down on yours and cut out as many. And again, when I'm folding it over, guys, I'm just doing maybe 3 fingers wide. And in a country where it rains all the time, we have a lot of rainy days to fill with lots of arts and crafts, okay? So now I've got 5 of my green links. I've got 5 of my brown links as well. And I think I've got 6, I said. Yeah, 6 of my white ones. So I'm ready to go. I've always said in my classes, what I like to do is get all the pieces together for the puzzle and then put it all together like a jigsaw at the end, okay? Now I've got some green paper left. I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm going to use that for something else some other day. So we're going to start assembling now. We're going to start putting our paper chain together. And we're going to start with the white one on the top, okay? You don't have to start with the white one. I'm just going to choose the white one to start with, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sellotape and I'm just going to peel off some pieces like this. And I'm going to stick them to the edge of the table so they're handy for me. If you have a tape dispenser like this, it's much easier. But if you don't, maybe you need to ask a grown-up just to get a few pieces of tape for you ready. So you're ready, or maybe they're helping you. They can be your tape dispenser. I know that my son asked me to be his tape dispenser last night. So I'm going to make a loop like this with my paper, okay? I just made a circle like this. I just crossed it over at the top. I'm going to take a piece of sellotape and I'm just going to tape that together. Easy peasy, okay? There we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go green because this is my in-between link. And I'm just going to pop it in through the hole here and make another link and sellotape that one, okay? So I've sellotaped, this will be my snowman face. And this one is going to be my in-between link, the ones that join it all together. And now I'm going to do my second character, which is going to be my Rudolph one. So I'm going to do the same thing with my green, and I'm just going to pop my brown one in through the green joining link. All right. And this is what you keep doing, guys, in the same order the whole way down. Now, I have every second character on my one. So I have a snowman, a reindeer, a snowman, a reindeer. But that's just my design. You can do snowman, 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 reindeer, reindeer, reindeer. Or you can do loads of snowmen and all the reindeer in the middle. So it's up to you what way you put this together. But just to think about where they're going to be when you hang it up on the wall. So I find that it helps if I hold it up like this and I hang it up on something like a door, and I can say, oh, I think I want to do a pattern like this. So with the white one and the brown one and the white one and the brown one. But I know that all the middle ones are going to be green. So every second one will be green, okay? So I'm on to every second one now again. So I'm going to do that through the brown loop. Just cross it over like this into a circle. And just put a piece of tape on it and join that together. Now I'm back to my white one again. So I'm back to my white one. Yeah. And I'm going to just pop this through the loop. And guys, these are great decorations, not just for Christmas. You can make them for somebody's birthday, maybe in all their favorite colors. And it's really environmentally friendly too, because obviously paper is recyclable. And when you're finished with it, you can just throw it out. Or you might want to keep it for next year because you might think it's so cool that you're into keeping it. Okay, so I was going to say pink and I was going to say yellow. It's white, Angela. White, green, brown, green, white. What's next? Green. So I'm going to take the green and I'm going to make another loop and I'm going to keep going. Now I've run out of little sellotape pieces. So I'm going to just pull another few to the side here on the edge of the table. So I'm ready to start sticking these because I don't have a lovely helper with me today. Like some of you will have your mums and dads as well to help you out. Or bigger brothers and sisters are great for helping too. So I'm going to make another little link like this and just pop it on like that. Okay, and the next one I'm going to do is brown again. So I'm back to my reindeer shape and I'm going to make another loop and you just keep going all the way down. Now, you don't have to use all of the little strips that you made, but I think I'm going to use a lot of them. I probably won't use all of them, but I'll use a lot of them. So I'm going to just cross this over again here. Depends how big the space you want to hang these paper chains is. So I'm going to hang it all the way down the door on the top part of my door, on the inside of the front door, so everyone can see it. It's going to be really nice. And I'm going to get my lovely white paper again. And I'm going to just seal that one now with a piece of tape. Very cool. And this is my last green one. So I'm going to just loop that together and tape it. And I'll do one more reindeer and I will tape it. So I need another piece of tape. Run out of tape again. There we go. And I'm just going to tape the last one. Okay, so I have a nice long linked chain. So I have 3 snowmen, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 reindeer. So I have 3 and 3. It's a slightly bit longer than my first one. Okay, I'm just going to put my lovely paper chain to the side for one moment. And I'm going to start working on all of the decorations of the 3D parts of the faces here like we have here, okay? All right. So here's my lovely snowman and here is my reindeer. Now I've left this one plain because I'm going to show you the difference between highlighting in a minute and plain ones. And I've done different kinds of eyes and different kinds of decorations for their hats and things as well. So we'll get going on that. Okay. So I'm going to use my other piece of printer paper. So at the start, I had 2 pieces of coloured paper, whether it was wrapping paper or whether it was brown packaging paper, or you had coloured paper at home from a different art project or from school, or if you'd coloured in or painted a piece of paper, I'm saying that's my coloured paper. So 2 pieces of coloured paper, doesn't matter what kind of coloured paper it is, 2 pieces of white printer paper. Now, I think most mums and dads have some printer paper at home. If you don't, you can always use maybe some paper from a copy in your school, but I'm sure you do have it at home, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to draw a few things here. I'm going to show you with my lovely markers, but you guys should probably use a pencil in case you make a mistake and then you can rub it out. But if I use a pencil, you guys won't be able to see it on the screen. So I am going to use a marker so it's easier for you to see, all right? Oh, and I'll use a black marker, okay? So I'm going to do mine a little bit bigger than they need to be so you guys can see it, all right? Now, what I'm going to do here is a nice trick for cutting more than one thing out, okay? I want 3 Santa hats. So I'm going to draw 1 Santa hat and I'll show you how I'm going to make 3 at once. It's a trick. So what I'm going to do with my white paper is I'm going to just fold it over like we were doing a minute ago. And I'm going to do it twice, okay? So I'm going to fold it twice. So I folded it twice and I'm going to leave it folded like this. So I folded it once and I turned it over and I folded it another way. So that we call that a flip and fold, okay? So you flip, you fold it here, you turn it over and you fold it again. So you've got a flip and fold, flip and fold, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to draw onto this. We're going to draw onto this your Santa hat. And when you draw onto the Santa hat, you can cut out 3 of them in one go, okay? So what I'm going to do for the Santa hat, now you can do any design you want for the hat. You can just do a pointy hat, but I'm kind of going to do a nice to one side hat like this one here, okay? With a nice tassel at the end. So on the piece that I folded over, I'm just going to do up and over here, like over a mountain. Or a kind of a squashed rainbow, I suppose. That's what that looks like, a little bit of squashed rainbow. And look, guys, it isn't perfect. You guys will be able to make it perfect if you want because you're using a pencil. And I'm going to draw what I call a fluffy cloud, but a really squashed fluffy cloud. So I'm going to do a couple of W's down here. And a couple of W's at the top like that, okay? All right, so I've done a couple of W's at the bottom, W's, 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 and then a couple of M's, I suppose, at the top like that, okay? Now, this is going to be the tassel at the end over here, all right? And I'm just going to go from the end of my my cloud. I'm just going to make a loop here, so I'm just going to draw a little gap in here, and we'll be cutting that out in a minute, all right? So I'm going to do that one more time. I might do a little bit easier. So if you just wanted to do a straight elf hat, you just do a big triangle. And if you wanted to give the elf that nice fluffy white fur like Santa has on his hat, you just add your W's to the end like that. And you can use that, leave those in white and colour in the top. Now you guys, I'm sure, are much neater at this than I am, okay? So I'm going to show you a trick as well for cutting out, okay? I think sometimes, you know, when you've got small hands and a small scissors, it's easier if you cut it out roughly first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out roughly, like this. Okay, and you can see that I've got, look, it's this shape. There's 3 pieces together. I'm going to hold it together and I'm just going to cut out around the line. When you do that and you're cutting around something that you've cut out roughly, it gets rid of all of the extra pieces of paper, which make it more fiddly to do. And it's a nice little knack to know, okay? Also, if you hold it in the middle of your drawing, it gives you a lot more control about where you do the scissors, and it lets you do the circles like this around the edges of the fluffy parts, or the W's as I'm calling them, okay? All right, so I'm going to just go around the bobble now and up and over like this, and I will have 3, and then I just have the little section here to cut out by the bobble. Okay, I'm just going to do that little section. Okay, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to cut out some of the elf hats, and what I might do is every second one will have an elf hat. Okay, so now what you can do is there are 3 of the same shape, and you can just do the detailing on each one. I know that these ones are plain white, but that's okay, that's good, because we're going to colour them in. All right, so I think I might do maybe 2 or 3 different colours. I might do 2 different colours. I might do some green ones and some red hats like Santa. Okay, so I'm just going to colour away here now with my markers. Okay, so how are you guys getting on? I hope you're having a good time and enjoying yourselves making these lovely decorations. And I hope Santa brings everything you've asked for, or at least your main present, because I'm sure you've all been very good during this lockdown and this COVID-19 crisis. So I think all the kids deserve lots of presents this year, lots of loves and cuddles. So here we go. And the City Library's present to you guys is these art classes. So I think that's pretty cool. So make sure you say thank you next time you're in the library, or the next time we can go into the library. Okay, so I'm just colouring away here on my green hat. I've done a green one, and I'm using the white fluffy furry section like on Santa's hat on one of them. So I've done a green one. You can see that one. That's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to do a red one as well. Now, guys, as I said, I'm flying through these because I need to get everything done in a certain amount of time. But you guys can take your time with these classes, okay, with this lesson. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just done a little bit of detail for the bottom to be the white fur on this one as well. And I'm going to use my red and colour this one in same colour as Santa's hat. So I'm just using red on this one, okay? But as I said earlier, guys, this is your design. You can do any kind of hat you want on your snowman, okay? If you wanted to do a top hat, that would be all black. If you wanted to do like a woolly hat, that's up to you as well. I just think they're more Christmassy with the Christmas hats. So that's what I chose. But again, it's your design. You can do whatever you like. You can even make rainbow snowmen if you want. They don't have to be white. So I'm just colouring away here now and doing my red. And I'm almost out of red ink. So I think I'll be doing 2 green and 1 red on my hats. So off I go here now. I'm just going to keep going here now. All the way through this section. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. All right, so I'm almost done with that. So I'm almost done. I'm done with my red one. Okay, so I've got a red one and I've got a green one now. Okay, and you know what I might do? I think I might do a blue one. Because blue is cool. It's a nice colour. I like blue. And as I said, you don't have to do kind of Christmassy colours. So I'll keep going like this. Okay. Did you guys know that Santa used to wear green and not red? And in the 1950s, Coca-Cola did an ad on the TV where Santa was wearing red because they're the Coke colours. And Santa said, do you know what? I think I look good in red. And he had been wearing green for hundreds of years. So he was bored of wearing green. So he said, do you know what? I think I will wear red. So he's only been wearing red since I think the 50s. So it's kind of cool. So green used to be Santa's colour. So it's nice to have some green in there as well. So we will keep going. And I'm on my blue one now. I'm on my 3rd hat, okay? Now, guys, I have not done a good job colouring these in because I'm in a hurry. But you guys can be really neat. You can also do little patterns or designs on the hats. You know, like some of the woolly hats that we have little patterns on them. My son has a cool Minecraft hat. Maybe you could do a Minecraft symbol or on one of them, or a computer game thing. It's up to you. Okay? Get as creative as you want with these. Okay, guys? So I have 1 blue one done. I've got 1 green one done. and I've got one red one done. So they're going to be for my 3 snowmen, and I'm just going to put those to one side for now. Okay, I'm going to go back to my white paper again, and I've already got it folded over, and I'm going to make 3 noses for my snowmen. Okay, and again, you use your pencil for this. This is really simple, guys. We're just going to draw a triangle sideways. Okay, a triangle like that. Okay, so we've drawn a triangle like this here. Okay, that's all. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again as I did with the hats, and I'm going to cut them out roughly first. Okay, like that, nice and rough, so I get rid of all the fiddly extra stuff I don't need. And now I'm going to cut out that triangle. All right, now guys, take your time. You can always pause this video if I'm flying ahead of you. Okay, so don't panic, don't worry, you don't have to keep up, you can pause the video. Okay, now I've got 3 noses ready to go. So I'm going to colour all of these in orange, obviously, because they're carrot noses. As you can see, there's my carrot nose, and I'm going to stick it on in a minute so a bit of it sticks out and it's kind of 3D. So I'm just going to colour that in, colour in my carrot nose. Well, not colour in my carrot nose, I don't have a carrot nose. I'm going to colour in the carrots for noses, okay? And there's one done. I'm going to do another one on the orange here. Okay, guys. When you're colouring on a table as well, you're doing small sections, it's good maybe if you put a piece of white paper underneath yours like this. Is going to show you like this. So if you go over the lines, you're getting it just on a waste piece of paper rather than all over your mum and dad's table. Okay, so that's another little hint for you. Nobody minds the scrap pieces of paper. And I'm sure you have lots of leftover wrapping paper and things like that in your houses at the moment, so you can just keep going like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do my 3rd one now, and I'm going to show you then how to make it look even more like a carrot. So we're going to do some detailing, it's called, on our carrot noses. Okay, off we go. Actually no, I forgot this one. I only had 2 done. I'm going to do a 3rd one. Okay, there we go. Now, to make them more look like a carrot, carrots are a round shape. When you look at them sideways, they're not spiky and sharp shaped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little detailing on them, okay? So if you hold your nose, your carrot nose, like this, I'm just going to draw a little tiny smile or a rainbow. Little tiny rainbows on it to make it look like it's a circular shape. So if you kind of do tiny little rainbows like that, if you see what I'm talking about, it makes it look more rounded. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my scissors and cut the corners off in a kind of a rounded pattern like that to make it more rounded, okay? Make it more like a carrot shape. But again, guys, you don't have to do that. That is just a little extra detail. If you'd like to do that, that's okay too. And I'll do this again, so don't worry, okay? So I've taken my triangle and I'm going to just do a rounded shape on it on the top, kind of a little rainbows, or maybe upside down smiles. I suppose they look like smiles if you hold them this way, and rainbows if you hold them that way a little bit. I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to just cut the sides off in a kind of a rounded pattern, all right? And you end up with this lovely shape, like a carrot, like a real carrot. They look good enough to eat. Okay, and I'm going to go again. There's this one, my last one. I'm going to just do some rounded rainbow shapes. Here we go. That's my lovely detailing on it now, and I'm just going to do the rounding off of the edges there as well, okay? So there we go. We're flying through all this, guys. We'll be able to put our snowman together in no time, okay? So we have everything that we need for our snowmen. So we'll start sticking our snowmen together, and then we'll go and we'll finish off our reindeer, okay? So here we are, and we've got our snowmen. Now, when I'm doing this, I find it easy just to put my hand inside the loop that I'm drawing on. And I'm just going to give my snowman a smile, okay? If you like, do it on the opposite side to the sellotape, okay? So it's easier to draw. So I'm just going to do a little smile like this on my snowman. I'm just going to do a little bit of detailing here, give him some chubby cheeks, like that. I'm going to give him 2 little coal eyes, like this, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue stick. And if you don't have a glue stick, you can use your sellotape for this. And I'm just going to stick on his nose. Okay. I'm going to stick on the carrot nose like this. Okay. Put my hands back in here again and stick my nose in the center here between his eyes and his mouth. And it kind of sticks off the side of the paper there, and that's cool. Okay. Then I'm going to choose a hat. I think I'm going to do a green one on the top. And I'm not going to put glue on the whole thing. I'm just going to put it on the bottom little section of it. So the top of his hat is sticking up over the top, okay? And it makes it it gives it a more 3D effect. And it looks cool, okay? So I'm going to pop that on, stick that on my snowman. And that's my first snowman ready to go. Okay, and he looks really cute. I'm going to move down to my second guy and do exactly the same thing again, okay? So I'm sticking my hand into the loop, going to just draw a smile. Very cool. I'm going to do some beady little coal eyes. Just do 2 little black circles like that. And I'm going to stick on my lovely carrot nose. Just going to pop it on here like that. And I'm going to stick on his hat next. I'm going to do the red one in the middle. So this is going to be my red hat. So I'm going to do that. I'm just putting glue on maybe this part here. And guys, I've got a real rule. If you're in my classes, I've got a rule or a pet hate about glue. I hate people who don't use enough glue. How you know you've got enough glue? It should be shiny. Look, you can see that in the light. Don't be mean with the glue. Glue is cheap. So you can use lots of glue, okay? So there we go. There's my second guy now. You can kind of see. So I've got my 2 guys done. So it looks kind of 3D and it sticks up. Well done. And I'm going to do my last guy. And I'm going to stick my hands in here again just to make it a little bit easier. Give him a little smile with chubby cheeks. Give him some beady little eyes. Some little coal eyes. And I'm going to stick on my carrot nose. Okay. I'm going to do that one. I'm just going to stick him on here. And my last hat, which is my lovely blue hat that I did for something different. And I'm just going to stick it on here to my last snowman. Okay. And there we go. There's my last hat. So they're all my snowmen finished. And I think they look really cool. Okay. You kind of see those faces a little bit better here now. I just need to move them around a little bit. So you can really see those snowmen now. They look really cool. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just finish off your reindeer, okay? And how we're going to do that, we're going to need eyes and noses and antlers for my reindeer. And if you remember correctly earlier, I left a piece of brown paper left, and I'm going to just do the same thing as I did with my white paper and fold it over. So I'm going to flip it over, turn it over, and then flip it again and fold it. So I only have to draw my antlers once. And I'll cut out 3 pairs at the same time. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to just do 2 lines for each antler. And I'm going to do an M and then another M. And again, another M and another M. Okay? So they're kind of like cartoon antlers. Okay? So I did 2 lines and an M sideways and another M. 2 lines, an M and another M. Okay? And I'm just going to cut those out. And at the same time, this will cut out 3 pairs of antlers for my 3 reindeer. Okay, so I'm just going to cut those out really roughly now first. And then I'll get a little bit neater. Okay, there we go. There's my first one. And like I said, if you hold your fingers in the middle, it's easier just to maneuver that scissors around or move that scissors around on the paper. Okay, so I've got 3 cut out now. I'm going to do the other 3. Okay, so 1 is done. And here's my second one, okay? Here we go. And these don't have to be perfect antlers. I know these don't look like real antlers, but these are kind of cartoon figures. Okay, and I have 3 pairs of antlers ready to go. Then I'm going to do the red noses. And on my white paper, I still have white paper left. I'm going to fold that over twice again. So I folded it, flipped it, folded it again, and we're going to do 3 noses and 3 pairs of eyes, okay? And they are just circles. We're just going to draw some circles. I'm going to do the noses a little bit bigger than the eyes, okay? So it's just 1 circle for the nose, and I'm going to do 2 smaller circles for the eyes. and we're going to cut those out, okay? Because again, it's going to cut out 3 sets of them, okay? So off I go. I'm just going to cut those out roughly first. And as I said earlier, if you're using the brown paper that you use for packing, you might not need to do this because you might be able to just colour in eyes and a nose on the paper. But because I'm using brown, really dark brown paper, I need to actually cut these out and stick them on, okay? Also, guys, if you had any googly eyes lying around at home, or white stickers even, you could totally do this and it would make your life a little bit easier, all right? Less gluing and less colouring. Okay, so off I go like this. So I've cut out the eyes. And for the middle of the eyes, guys, I'm just going to do a black dot in the middle, okay? Just a black dot in the middle of my eye. That's the first one that I've done, okay? Really simple one. And I'm going to do another one to match that. So that's a pair of eyes. I'm going to do another one. So you can do little kind of cartoon ones as well, where you just do most of a circle, like a Pac-Man figure, and take a chunk out of it like that, okay? Like that, and it makes it look like his eyes are gleaming in the light, and it makes it more cartoony, okay? You can kind of see what I mean when I colour it in a little bit better because it's teeny tiny, okay? And I'm just going to do another one that's exactly the same as that. Okay, so I have a pair of eyes. So it's most of a circle and a little V cut out of it. That's what it looks like. Okay, that's the second pair of eyes, and I'm going to just do circles on my first pair again. Okay, on my third pair. Right, so they're my 3 pairs of eyes, and obviously the noses, if it's Rudolph, are red. So I'm going to colour those in red, and then I'm going to get gluing all the pieces together, and we'll be finished in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. We'll be finished really quickly, okay? So remember what I said when you're colouring things, pop them down on another piece of white paper, so if you go outside the lines, you're not destroying your mom and dad's table or kitchen counter or whatever you're doing this on, okay? So there's 1 nose done. I'm going to do the 3 noses in red. But again, you don't have to make them all Rudolph. Maybe only one of them is Rudolph. Maybe the other ones have black noses or plain noses, and there's only 1 Rudolph. It's up to you, okay? So I'm almost done there now. I'm just moving on to my third one. My third little nose here. And I'm sure yours are going to be lovely and neat. I'd love to see what they look like. You will have to send some pictures into the library and they can send them to me. Okay, so I have 3 noses, I have 3 sets of eyes, and I have 3 sets of antlers. I'm just going to get going now with my reindeer, okay? So for the reindeer, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the snowman. I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to do his mouth. Same thing again, the same kind of mouth. I'm just going to give him a nice smile and 2 chubby cheeks, okay? And I'm going to start gluing on my pieces, okay? So I'm going to glue on a nose first. Here we go. So I've got some glue on this one, and I'm going to pop it in here over his mouth, like that, okay? And I'm going to stick a pair of eyes on. There's one here. And these guys are super cute. I really like these reindeer. They're really nice. Here we go. There's his face. I'm going to stick on a pair of antlers, okay? And the same thing what you did with the hat. Don't stick the whole thing on. Leave the top of the antlers sticking out over the top of it so it looks a bit 3D. So that's what I've done, okay? Now you can give him a bit more detail. If you want to go around with your black marker, draw around the eyes, makes them stand out a bit more. And the same with the nose. It makes them stick out or stand out a bit more. It makes them pop. Here we go. I'm just going to go around his nose with the black marker just to give you a look. And you can really see it now. It really stands out. It makes a massive difference, okay? So I'm going to move on to my second one, okay? And I'm going to stick on, I'm going to do his smile first with his 2 chubby cheeks, like that. I'm going to stick on his nose. Here we go. I'm going to stick on a pair of eyes. I'm going to do these lovely cartoon eyes on this guy in the middle with, just to make him look a little bit different. These eyes are kind of funny. And as I said earlier, you can do any kind of eyes you want, but I think these ones are super cool. So here we go. Looks kind of cartoony. And I'm going to stick on his antlers, and then I'll move on to my very last one, and then we'll be done for today. And the time has just gone so quickly with this group. So I'm going to just, oh, I dropped an antler. It's like a real life reindeer who's lost his antlers from fighting. Okay, and I will do this one now again. So last one. And as I said, you can just go around the eyes and the nose to make them stand out a bit more. And then I'm moving on to my last one. Even though I've lost an antler, I will make another one in a second. I'm going to stick on his nose. There you go. And stick on the eyes. And even though you've cut these out, none of them will be exactly the same. And that's really cool. I think it gives them all their little own personalities. All right. I need to stick on the antlers. Oh, I found it. Here, last antler. Here we go. Right, sticking on this antler, and I'm going to stick on the other one. And then that is it. We are done making our fabulous Christmas decoration chain with all of our brilliant characters. And I've had so much fun doing this today, guys. Well done. I hope yours look as cool as this one does. And I hope you decorate your house and make it really nice and special for Christmas with your homemade decorations. Special thanks to the Cork City Library for having me on board again. See you later. Bye.